Welcome back to 614 Headsets. It's another player spotlight, and I'm excited for this one. Hey, Tom Brady said it best: football is unconditional love, and we couldn't agree more. We're three high school football coaches from the Columbus area who just eat, sleep, and breathe this game. And I'm excited to have our quarterback on tonight and to ask him some questions and see where it goes. Last episode, we got to put Coach Sayers on the hot seat a little bit. We'll see what happens tonight. So thanks for joining in. But before we begin, let's talk about the sponsor of our show, man, who's helped us do big things, and that's Fundraising University, okay? So Fundraising University Ohio offers a variety of fundraising efforts that helps football teams run profitable, effective, and fast-paced fundraisers designed to raise the most money in the shortest amount of time to reach their fundraising goals. Fundraising University Ohio is locally owned, operated, and with their 6-step blitz system will help your team maximize profits. As a current coach himself, Brent Maxwell with Fundraising University will sit down and help you pick, plan, strategize, and execute your fundraiser that will allow you as a coach to protect your sacred time personally and professionally. If you're interested in us running a fundraiser for you, please contact Brent Maxwell at bmaxwell@fundraisingthelletteru.net or 740-501-8946 to learn how to get started with fundraising. And Brent told me to tell you, if you do, make sure you reach out and tell them that the boys from 614 Headsets told you about it, and it might help you out a little bit as you get going. All right. So, and thanks everybody for joining. Donovan, introduce this man of honor to us.
Man, Brennan, this is really exciting to have you on. Brennen Ward, quarterback from Gahanna Lincoln High School. Coach Stout and I are obviously very familiar with him, or a couple of his coaches. 3-star quarterback, top 25 player in the state of Ohio for 2025, according to 24/7 Sports. Last year broke the single season passing touchdown record for Gahanna Lincoln. Competed in the Elite 11 regional. We were talking about that a little bit before we started recording, and won the Accuracy Award, which was a big time deal over there, and then holds offers from a bunch of different schools. A lot of the MAC schools: Akron, Bowling Green, Central Michigan. Boston College was a recent offer, right? Kentucky was a recent re-offer as well. Miami's clearly in the top there as well, and then Toledo and Western Michigan around there.
Is Miami clearly in the top, Donnie? How?
If listen, it's the top of the MAC. Come on, let's just get Brennan's
Hey, you
been
guys
there.
got a big commitment today
The
for
running back,
Tito
yeah.
Glass, who might be on the show as well. We've just been talking.
I love that. That'd be great to get him on. Brennan, man, we're really appreciative of you being on here. It's really cool to be able to see where you came from as a little kid, and now you're here on this, and I'm one of your coaches. Let's go ahead and get into this. Coach Stout, Coach Sayers, let's go ahead and get into this. So, pick six questions. We've been doing this kind of hot topic, fast action questions for some of our guests. So, first question from me, related to what I was just saying, what's it like for you being in your position? I think playing for Gahanna is one thing, but to have the success you've had even early on and to be a quarterback for Gahanna, what's that like for you after you grew up around Gahanna? Like, I remember you running with us when I was in high school and doing the half gassers. I remember when I came and watched the first game after COVID, when my brother graduated, was 2021, and someone told me the starting quarterback was out, and they're like, yeah, Brennanton. I'm like, who? Like, Brennan, what's his last name? They're like, Ward. I'm like, Brennan's that old already? So, like, it's crazy seeing you grow up in Gahanna. So I kind of want to get your perspective. What's your perspective growing up around this team since you were a little kid running with us to now being where you're at?
Yeah, it's just super cool just being ball boy and just being around the program just every day since I was little, and just watching the older kids just do what they do. I just remember just being on the sideline, just wishing I could be out there, and just being out there now, it's just super cool. And I can just look at the younger kids and be like, I was once in their position. I know how they feel, and I just try to give them some every time I talk to them. Just try to tell them that it comes by fast, and you're never going to forget. Like when you're younger, going to the older games, and it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. You Stout Sayers, this kid, no lie, him and his sister would be running half gassers, and him and his sister both would probably beat half, if not 2/3 of the team doing this in the dead heat. And this is like Coach Ward's like first and second year when he was really, really getting on us. So it was long summer conditioning.
I've heard the epic fables of the year 1 and year 2 Coach Ward. I remember Brennan running around in a helmet. So he'd be sliding around doing quarterback drills with Coach Hardinger and had his helmet on. And of course, at that age, I swear to God, like the helmet was like 2/3 of them just bobbling around on the field. So I remember it too, man.
I love that. All right, second question. So you got some action as a freshman, right? I think the first game you started as a freshman was the first game I saw you. And then last year you come off a season where you play 15 games. From freshman to sophomore year, what do you think the biggest, I don't even want to call it improvement, but what's the biggest thing that you noticed that changed for you? Was it the speed of the game? Was it just how much slower it felt? Was it your ability to communicate plays better? What was the biggest change that you saw from year one to year two for you?
I would just say just getting comfortable in what the position I was in. My freshman year, a week before that, I was playing freshman football, and it's just different speed, just different players. We ran the same, like similar offense, but it was a lot more complex on varsity. So just spending the off season after freshman year to be able to learn the offense completely and just get comfortable with my receivers and the position I'm in, I think that was probably the biggest difference that I've seen in between 2 years.
I love that.
Those are good ones. Brennan, now my first question, look, man, obviously I'm in the City League, and your dad, that's where he started at. You know what I mean? And so for your dad, he's a legend in the city. Everybody knows who he is in the city. And he got the Gahanna job, which is a huge job in Central Ohio to get from, obviously, even from a city school. So he obviously has done a phenomenal job at every spot that he's been at. And I have so much respect for your dad, too. And I just want to know for you, what's it like playing for your dad on Friday nights?
Yeah, it's just super cool. He's always been around. Like when I go to when I was in Little League, he'd always be there just talking to me and just coaching me up and after games and just talking about the game. So just being able, he's just in the program and he like knows what we're doing. It's just, we can talk about it on a deeper level after all this stuff, talk about plays because he gets it. And I don't know, it's just different from having someone as a coach you don't really have that bond with. I don't know how to explain it. It's just different.
No. And I think I talked to your dad for about, probably 40 minutes at the Under Armour camp when he was on the sideline and stuff, watching you throw the ball and stuff. And we're just talking to him. I asked him this question, and this is like a bonus question. I didn't even put it on here, but how do you guys separate that relationship at home of player to son relationship? Like, how do you guys make sure that's separated?
Yeah. So when we're at football, we're just trying to get better. It's just not strictly football, but we just keep it professional or whatever during football practice. But then after, we can talk about it, talk about what we did well, what we didn't do well. But after that, it's just him being my dad. We can talk about the NFL sports or what's going on at school and stuff. It's just being able to know what to talk about at the time.
Right. Wait, so do you call him dad or do you call him coach?
I call him dad.
I had to ask that question.
I call him dad too, man. I've been saying it for years. I joke around, and I'll be like, "Dad, what are we wearing in the game?" Dad.
Hey, look,
I'll never forget the first time I was at Gahanna.
I might start calling him dad myself when I see him.
Have to.
Hey, next time I see your dad, watch. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what up, Dad?"
Do it. The first time I came to Gahanna and I started doing it, a couple people started looking at me, and then it caught on, and now everybody does it. It's like the running joke, and it's been it for years. I love it.
I'm glad I asked that question and it turned to that because now when I see him on the 7th, you're gonna hear me too, Brown. I'm like, once he gets off the bus, I'm gonna try to get there. What up, Dad? I might.
Sayers, you were late last year. You ain't gonna beat us there. I guarantee.
Before you guys.
Oh, okay. That's what you said last year too.
Yeah, sorry. We might do it at the end. Depends on my busing. I don't drive the bus. It's the city life. Ask your dad, Brendan. I bet you his buses were late. But my last question to you, Brendan, and hey, I never played quarterback, right? I'm a defensive guy. I call our defense, or I help call our defense. We have a co-DC. We work. Our defense side we don't really have a main caller. We're just getting it in. But for you guys, like an offense, right? And I know you know how to learn coverage and read coverages. I know you've been growing up around football. What's your favorite coverage when you see it out on the field? Like, when you're like just licking your chops, yeah, I already know I'm going to torch this coverage this weekend.
Probably just man or cover zero. We have Dior and a great line last year. So when we get them to stack the box and just have to match up man to man with our outside receivers, I just see that and just get excited.
I like that because that's not the easy. Like, what? I honestly thought I was going to go a different way.
I did too. Do you look at my notes? I didn't even put 1 or 0.
I know. You didn't have any man on there. I like that. That's a very interesting. But to me, that's Brendan. To me, that's what I've told people is when the lights are on, man, he shows up. Like, to me, he has that X factor. There's no other guy I want to go to battle with than this kid. Just the way he leads our team and the way he shows up and he performs in those big moments. He doesn't shy away from it. You know what I mean? That's how you know the sign of a great player. And that answer right there just solidifies it, because there's probably not a whole lot of kids that probably would have said that, because those are going to be the harder throws at times. You're going to get more pressure in your face. Those are going to be the harder throws. I like that answer a lot. All right, Brennan, your dad loves uniforms, loves it. I swear it's like we get a new one every year. There's one just somebody asked us after the 7 on, what jersey you guys getting this year? You got blah, 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 blah. We got colors that don't even come out of the closet because they're jinx. And your dad's one of the most superstitious guys I know.
The gray one.
The gray, yeah, the yellow too.
Yeah, yellow.
So if you could design our next uniform, what would it look like? What colors would it be? Dad lets you pick it all. What are you going with?
I'm a big fan of the all black. So we get the all black helmets, matte black. I think that would look good. And just maybe some highlights of yellow and blue, but just all black. I think that's just really mean and just.
I like that a lot. You ever see the letters that have that ombre effect into the color too?
I do like that.
That would look sweet. I think that'd be sweet.
I love that. We got it at Northland. We got all black last year, dude, and that's my favorite color to rock is all black. It's so clean.
Brennan, we were begging your dad as players, begging him to do all black uniforms. And then like third week of whatever year, it's like, all right, we got a surprise. And it was those gray uniforms that never came back out after that. Never came back out after that.
Is that is that Grove City?
It's Grove City.
Yeah. I've heard that tale as well. You know what? I think grays would look sweet because we have black. I think an all gray would look pretty sweet. A light gray.
He'll never do it.
I won't mention it. Brendan, last question for me. Who are the quarterbacks that you study or maybe you try to model or mold your game around?
I know I used to back like before I was really like deep in the quarterback. I used to love RG3, just how like electric he was, how he could run and throw the ball, just all that. But more recently, now that I'm like deeper in the role, I like watching Joe Burrow, just seeing him at LSU and how he was underrated, but he's like humble, and I think I'm similar to him in that way, and how he's just super calm, and no matter like what the situation is, he's just going to perform just because that's just who he is. It's like how he just holds himself.
That's a good comparison. I like it. And when you study some of these guys, like what do you look for? What do you try to maybe take from them?
I just like just how they go about certain like plays and stuff. Like going around to these like a lot of like college visits, they run a lot of NFL stuff, so I get to see some film from NFL games, and it's similar to what we do. So I like seeing how they read it and how they throw it and what they're looking at before it snaps. So just again, we'll see how they just go about playing. It's just I like watching that.
Brandon, did you always know you wanted to be a quarterback, or that just developed like 8th grade freshman year?
No, I always loved playing quarterback, but usually just put players wherever they can to fit. So in flag football, little league, I played wherever, but I always just grew up like throwing the ball. Just a lot of my favorite players when I was watching football when I was younger. The dad's team was quarterback, so I just grew up just naturally surrounded by quarterbacks. So that's what I wanted to be.
I love that.
It was awesome.
That's good.
Hey, Brendan, the way you carry yourself just from this podcast, man, you're going to be special, dude. And I'm excited to watch you. I'm excited to watch you grow, dude. I'm geeked up for this dude now. I'm going to be cheering for Gahanna to win these games for sure every week. You carry it a great way.
Receipts, Brendan. He was talking a lot of smack on the last podcast saying wait for July 7th. So I want you to take these receipts and I want you to light them up on the 7th.
Listen, Brendan, light us up. We need it. Please. Light us up. We need it. I want that. But I think it'll be a great week. You'll hear me yelling. I can't wait to call Coach Ward dad.
I can't wait to see his reaction. Please do it all around. I got to see it. But, hey, Brendan, thanks, man, for coming on. And everybody else, if you're tuning in, thanks for joining us on 614 Headsets. Make sure you subscribe on Apple or Spotify or Google, wherever you listen, or hit that subscribe on YouTube. Reach out to us on Twitter. Let us know what you like. Give us some suggestions how we can make it better. We're in double digits now. This is our 3rd player spotlight, and we can't wait to keep doing more. and keep going on into a big July, hopefully. So obviously, Brennan, I hope you have a great season, right? Because if you're having a great season, I'm having a great season, and it's great. So let's have a great season, man. Let's go get it again and chase down another championship together, all right?
Yep, yes, sir.
All right, thanks, everybody.